Warriors, welcome to episode 319. This is the Anxiety Guy podcast, and do I have a podcast episode for you? I need you to listen intently today and be brutally honest with yourself. Before I get into it, thank you so very much for all your reviews and testimonials when it comes to my programs. If you want to learn more about any of my anxiety recovery programs, head over to theanxietyguy.com today and learn more. Start your healing, theanxietyguy.com. And friends, when dealing with anxiety, there are three different types of people that I have pinpointed. Okay, I've been doing this for about a dozen years, and I repeatedly see these same characteristics within these types of people. Okay, I've placed them in three different categories, and I want you to say, yes, that sounds like me, or yes, that sounds like me if I'm number 2 or 3 or whatever it is. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself today, okay? Because we're going to talk about the focused kind of people, we're going to talk about the frantic kind of people, and we're going to talk about the collapsed kind of people that deal with anxiety, okay? Obviously, if you're in the group of focused kind of people that are dealing with anxiety, then you will be making progress a lot faster than the other types, okay? But that doesn't mean you need to bring a tremendous amount of guilt to being a frantic or collapsed person. A lot of what you're dealing with in terms of anxiety is very unconscious, so there's really no point in blaming yourself, okay? Because let me explain really quickly here. When your survival brain and your emotional brain tag team up, they create a perspective. And that perspective is based around protection. It's based around preserving lessons based on your past emotional intense traumas, okay? So we have to understand the difference between having a present perspective and having a perspective that's based on the perceptions coming from our inner child, okay? Let's get into the first type of person that is dealing with anxiety. They're called the focus group, okay? The focus group are aware but not alert, okay? An alert person will always look for the threatened things, okay? The alert person will always feel like they're tired but wired. Whereas the aware person will go about their day recognizing that challenges will appear internally and externally, and they are prepared to deal with those challenges. Focused people wake up in the morning and they go, well, today will come with challenges, right? It may be a symptom, it may be an intrusive idea, it may be a feeling in my body. These challenges are internal, or they could be external. Someone could say something to me. Something externally could happen today. I know challenges are going to show up today. Okay? I'm not going to be ignorant towards those challenges. I'm not going to wake up and say, today's going to be a fantastic day. I'm not going to run into a single challenge. No. They don't have that kind of a checklist. Okay? Focused people are aware that challenges will arise. They are prepared for those. And if you wake up with this kind of attitude, what happens is those challenges turn into minutes. Minutes, literally. Right? Something happened. You're able to deal with it at a mental level, at a behavioral level, at an imaginative level, verbal level, whatever you do, okay, in that moment. And it turns into minutes, not hours, not days, not weeks, none of that. So that's focused, okay? Focused people understand the healing ladder system as well, okay? They understand that on this ladder system, every step on the ladder will present new challenges, okay? And when I talk about challenges, I'm talking about vulnerability. Vulnerability. The next step on the ladder will test you, will challenge you. You will feel vulnerable, okay? And as you grow based on that challenge, you go to the next step. And the next step will present new challenges, new opportunities to be vulnerable and defy your old core beliefs. Okay? Very powerful stuff. Can you resonate with being a focused person so far? Feelings, okay? Feelings, old ideas. When it comes to a focused person, they recognize that they're having a feeling, but rarely do they allow that feeling to turn into an emotion. Okay? Emotions are different than feelings. Feeling is a sensation you get in your body, some kind of a warning of something, whether good or bad. An emotion is a provocation of that feeling. Okay? It's a buildup. It's a momentum from the feeling that turns into an emotion. It's like a train. Okay? A train picks up speed. Okay? But does the train have the option to go slow? Yes, the train does. So, just like you can go through your day experiencing feelings, experiencing intrusive ideas, and those are fine, those are normal, those are natural, right? And they don't have to turn into emotionally intense experiences. So this is kind of the focused group, okay, the focus group. They have a level of self-control that's different than the frantic group, the second group. Frantic people who are dealing with anxiety are caught up, okay? They'll go on social media, they'll read some kind of article or a tweet or a Facebook post or whatever, and down they go that rabbit hole. 3 hours later, they have no idea where their time went, and they're starting to feel guilty about it. And then they go, I gotta stop doing this. I gotta stop doing this, okay? But they never seem to stop because they are addicted to suffering, okay? At an unconscious level, they are addicted to suffering. And reading those tweets, reading those Facebook posts, engaging in things that create pain and suffering, fulfill a need. Not a need from the conscious mind, but a need from the inner child that feels like life is suffering, okay? So the tweets aren't the problem. The content is not the problem. Okay? What you hear from other people, distractions, criticisms, these are not the problems. Your job is not the problem. Health anxiety is not the problem. These are the symptoms to the underlying program that is connected to the addiction to suffering. Okay? If you can understand this, oh my goodness. Okay? Big leaps. Big leaps. Frantic people haven't differentiated between a feeling and what's truly real for them. They believe that their feelings are real. Okay? No. No. When the body looks to mobilize itself to a perceived or imminent threat, that is not real. That is a perspective. Okay? That is a preparation. That's all it is. A feeling is a preparation for something. Okay? And this subconscious mind, inner child, says, well, we might as well provide this feeling to the body because we don't want to have any regrets. If something goes wrong here and we didn't mobilize the body with all these stress hormones, sensations, and anxiety symptoms, and something does go wrong, okay, we can consider that a massive mistake. So it's based on protection. Frantic people get caught up. They get caught up. Okay? Can you resonate with being a frantic person? And finally, we have collapsed. Collapsed. I know the term collapsed is a little bit harsh, but honestly, I couldn't find another term, so let's just go with collapsed for now. Collapsed people have given up on the process. Okay? They have given up on themselves. They are depleted, but they continue to engage in acts that they know they should replace. Okay? Stimulation. Okay? They're engaging in things that they believe are fun, but are draining them even further and perpetuating their anxiety. They know they need to stop doing these things. They know that. They know that, and they can do that. But they realize that it's too big of a sacrifice to let go. If I stop watching these shows, these horror flicks, if I stop playing these video games, If I stop hanging out with these energy vampires, if I change my career, I'm going to have to sacrifice something that's too big, and it's not worth the change. Okay, this is important. Because the moment you start to associate more pleasure to change, you're going to start changing. But if you leave it in the hands of your inner child, you'll never change. Very difficult. Very difficult. It's the conscious adult mind, led by the neocortex in your brain, that has to take control and say, this means X. Change equals pleasure. Uncertainty equals adventure. Certainty equals anxiety. So if I continue to look for the certainty in everything, then what am I doing? I'm looking to control aspects of my life and everybody else's life that I don't have control over. This is huge. You go on a plane, you're not the pilot. Stop trying to fly the plane. Let go. You're going to be fine. Haven't you been fine until now? These are the moments where you step up. Focused kind of person, right? The collapsed kind of person rarely, if ever, considers the opposing perspective to what their childhood beliefs say. Okay? Is this their fault? No. No. Do you realize how tiring it is to implement a certain degree of willpower each and every day to your day? That's exhausting. Adrenal fatigue, adrenal exhaustion, okay? Mentally unclear, emotionally, don't even know what I'm feeling anymore. I've been there. Physically, you want to lay in bed all day. I understand. This is the collapsed person. But you got to start somewhere, don't you? You have to start somewhere, don't you? As comfortable as being collapsed is, it's time to break out of it. Okay? Because I don't want you to have regrets in the future. Regrets that say, if only I listened to that podcast and done X. Because you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. Don't trick yourself. You know what you need to do. Okay? If you spend a little bit of time with yourself, you'll know exactly what doesn't work. You'll know exactly what doesn't work. A little review of your day and you'll know exactly what doesn't work. These types of thought patterns don't work. When I wake up in the morning and I start imagining, key word, because it's all based on imagination anyway. I start imagining the worst possible scenario. When I wake up in the morning, what's the opposite of that? The best possible scenario. Imagine if I started to imagine that instead. Verbally, what kind of vocabulary am I using with myself and others? Are these words harming me or helping me? Look at your life. Look at your internal patterns right now and you'll know exactly what doesn't work. Based on knowing what doesn't work, you will know what will work. Key stuff. Important stuff. So are you a focused kind of person, frantic, or collapsed? Which one? Please admit it. And it's a starting point. It really is. It's a starting point. I love you all. From the bottom of my heart, this podcast episode is dedicated to Ezra Blunt, 9 years old, lost a life at Astro World. Dedicated to you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful child. Have a wonderful day, and remember that you are more than anxiety. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.